Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCube TV Global. I am your host, Rajni Bharara, and today on the show, I have with me again a very special person, Mr. Krishna Teja. He is the official spokesperson for Congress and AICC member. Today on the show, we are going to speak with him about the current things that is going on in the politics, such as internal turmoil within the party between Telangana PCC president and seniors, on Prime Minister's security lapse during his visit in Punjab, and more. But before we start the show and before we start putting these questions on him, let's welcome him to SCube TV Global. Hello, Mr. Krishna Teja. Welcome to SCube TV Global once again.
Hi, madam. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. On these current things that is happening across the country, in politics is, firstly, I would like to know from you about the inner turmoil that is going on between, within the party between Telangana PCC president and the seniors. And it is said that they are planning to resign and things like that are going on. So what's your take on that?
Madam, actually, I want to say it very briefly. A system as a whole, while we are growing, obviously such things come into place. Okay, here nobody is resigning, as was said to me right now. The thing is, there is some communication gap within the party. I'm saying you openly. And as a system, while we are going, obviously such sort of things are expected because communication gap comes in only when the party is in demand and when the party is building up with the people. Okay. Now, Mr. Revanth Reddy, after stepping in as a PCC president, he has utilized every available opportunity. The seniors have come again into limelight. Now, everybody wants to be in the public and everybody wants to have the focus on them. Okay, here there is no the communication gap is in the sense they want a unity between the party. They want a party with consensus. They want a party to be run the system. Okay, they don't want unilateral demands in unilateral system coming between the party is what the seniors and the juniors are also saying. But the advantageous position, what I am saying is the party is literally coming to power in 1.5 years or in a year, whenever the elections are. And moreover, the communication gap is also completely bridged. There are 1 or 2 years who are really disappointed with fluctuations happening here. Right now, even slowly, eventually, even as we are growing, as I said you right now, even those also will get systemized and we can generally function and in a normal way and we can negotiating table very soon.
Has now Congress started to put blame games on the seniors or what is happening?
As I said, madam, I said you right now, this is not a game. Okay, this is a game of everyone focality, which I say really for, okay. Everyone wants to be focused equally. Okay, when the system, that is when the party is in demand, when the party is not in demand, nobody will or at least wish to come before the media or before something. Now, after the PCC president has taken over, the party has really went on to the public. The party has taken the pulse of the people. The party has utilized every available opportunity. I said you right now. That is the reason the seniors are literally demanding undue respect to them because certain categories of the media, that is the so-called YouTube and social media, are literally portraying the seniors in negative light. So they say after years of service, after decades of service, after all the posts in our life, in the flat of our career, why are we being humiliated? The seniors straight question to the party's leadership. Which every available media is portraying. The pitiable situation is right now the ruling party dispensation it has created confusion by taking a certain section of the media it is and playing with the democracy. The playing of the democracy and misutilization of the media is literally creating a confusion within the ruling party itself and even the opposition party which we are facing right now. Right now, we do know who is doing what. Now, everybody is portraying indirectly, everybody are coming and creating a gap between the party. I'm saying the core reason for all these things in a brief word is the media, the so-called social media, and the so-called social media, certain section of people who vehemently are sitting on this day and night by portraying and creating confusion between the ruling party and the opposition, and in the opposition between the seniors and the juniors. And nobody is in a resignation mode. Everybody are on the same. Everybody are willing to work together. But the thing is, they want the decisions, I said right now, to be taken by consensus.
thank you for clearing out the confusion, because you're the official spokesperson of the party, and obviously if it is coming out from you, so we have to believe it. And if you're saying that everything is sorted out and everything, I mean, the decision is taken within the party and everything is happening, the seniors and the juniors. So, I mean, we have to believe it, and that's absolutely great then. And with this, I would like to move on to my next question. There's also a lot of things going on in AP about the film tickets, and also about the theaters getting closed because of the license problems, and so many things are happening. So, what's your take on the AP film ticket prices regulation by the government? So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, madam. So let me answer it very straightly. Okay. Also, the film dispensation newly created state, because the film actors have literally started political parties over there, and there is a lot of power trouble and power turmoil in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh state for the opposition status over there. Okay, right now the AP government also vehemently forgetting that we are in a globalized world, that we have opened doors for the globalization. The other nations, they have forgotten that, and they have utilized the colonial Act, the so-called Cinema or Cinematography Regulation Act 1955, and have controlled the ticket prices, stating that under that we are permissible to control. But they have opened the doors for the globalized world to come and do business, because the newly created state wants liquid. They rely on the central government, they can't rely on RBI. But by taking such decisions, the really, apart from getting new liquid, new business to their state, my straight answer to this is they are literally creating an atmosphere of really doing the existing business from their state by creating confusion in the minds of the business entity. And now, right now, even the existing businesses are also starting to move away from that state. Seeing all these things, the High Court has recently come out openly and has created a set the GO the AP government has bought it, stating this is for political.
Mr. Krishna Teja, my next question to you is about the film tickets prices. That is, so the movie people and everyone actually wants the film ticket prices to go up, but because of the AP film ticket prices regulation by government, it is not. And also because of the license problem, single screen theaters, and most of the theaters getting shut down. So what's your take on that? If you can please explain it to the audiences.
See, my take on that very briefly, madam, is actually the AP government taking political considerations into picture. Actually, because there is an atmosphere in the newly created Andhra Pradesh where the film actors are stepping into politics, and film actors are starting to come into the limelight under the political limelight, and there is a clear division within the film actors. And utilizing the gap in the film industry, the government started to bring in the Colonial Act, okay, which was already created in the erstwhile United Andhra Pradesh, the so-called Cinematography Regulation Act 1955, where under that act the government started to bring in a GO by passing that, amending that act, and by amending that act and by controlling the so-called film entities, okay. But the High Court recently has come into limelight, and the High Court has set aside the so-called GO of controlling the film prices, stating that we are in a globalized world. We have opened our doors as an entity in the 1990s only. The newly created state needs liquid, and for the liquid to come, the businesses should come and invest. For business to come and invest, there should be a business-friendly atmosphere. It was the newly created government was set by the Honorable High Court, stating that the newly created government also over there is in a position to amend the Cinematography Act, but they didn't materialize. Now it is going for appeal, which we will see very shortly before the Supreme Court. So my brief summing up of the entire story there is, now the political consideration is a pure reason for bringing up the so-called amendment and the GO. For the ulterior motive of all those things is to create a split between the existing film actors who have started a new party over there, and by neutralizing certain other section of the film actors who are not coming into limelight. This is what is materializing over there, because the AP government cannot entertain, not only the AP government, any government cannot entertain a bargainer, okay? a bargainer to be on limelight. Okay, because even the celebrities are above the government. But the peculiar situation, let it be in the so-called erstwhile Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, is here. It's a one party, one person government. These are sub-regional governments. No party cannot entertain or encourage, with that too in the very, very newly formed states, a unilateral celebrities coming to film. They can't create a epicenter beside themselves. That is the sole reason for this act to come up. This is what I wish to say, ultimately stating that the Cinematography Act was brought purely for political considerations.
But Mr. Krishna, also I would like to know from you, because what happens is movies are made for the audiences, not for the celebrities and not for the government. So if I talk about the movie tickets and everything, so the movie tickets are for the publics to buy. So, we are thinking a lot about celebrities and about the government, but what about the public? What's the public take on this particular thing? I mean, the lesser the ticket prices are going to be, I think the happier the public is going to be. So, what would you like to say on that?
I'll give you a brief example of this, madam. One of my friend was saying me recently, a couple of days ago, while this act was there, okay, before the High Court has stepped in, okay, there was a lot of, the public, they were paying the same. What the public are paying today, the public were saying paying the same even then. How is the question right now? Because revenue officials, you'll be having revenue officials in every district. Wherever when this act became applicable, the government agencies is completely function in every district under the authority of revenue officials. The revenue officials started getting on to theatres, and theatres started paying the bribes to the revenue officials by managing them, stating them not to come and do, in the sense, not to come and bargain and put some fines and other things. And they neutralize the revenue authorities, and revenue authorities are the only beneficiaries of this. The people are paid the same, are paying the same, and will pay the same also. The ultimate thing, as I said to you right now, is the beneficiaries were the government officials only. Even within the so-called 2.5 weeks, okay, when this act was brought, prices were controlled.
Mr. Krishna, a very important and a very, I would like to raise a very hot topic over here, which is going on and which is like hounded by the media so much, especially these days. So, and which is about the Prime Minister's security labs that happened, in Punjab during his visit. So to the state. So I would like to know from you, the BJP party is actually blaming the Congress party, and the Congress party is actually blaming the BJP party. And PM has also said that, to the people that tell your CM of Punjab that I came alive from the scenario that was created over there. So what's your take on that? And would you say that it was, without being, I would say, biased towards your party or towards any other party, I actually would like to know from you that what would you say on this topic? And would you agree that it was Congress's fault or it was BJP's fault, or neither?
Madam, my straight befitting reply to this is, it's purely a premature behavior by the ruling dispensation. Okay, a prime minister, okay, who functions under NSG, okay, his security will be monitored by Home Secretary, Union Home Minister with NSG. And in 2020, 600 crores were invested for NSG, for Prime Minister's security, and Prime Minister has a force of 6,000 for personal battalion to protect only one person, that is called Prime Minister. In the sense, the Prime Minister has a capable strength of 6,000 members for his protection. In the sense, this is a premature act by the ruling dispensation. I am saying is, see, when the Prime Minister steps in, ultimately the NSG before 1 week to 10 days go for trials, take the complete ruling, law and order to its hands. Okay, even though the law and order is a state subject, but why when the Prime Minister got stopped over there? Some say the BJP activists are there, some say the Congress has provoked over there. But one thing, but no party, let it be the Congress party or let it be some other party, we as a nation should respect Prime Minister. We are respecting Prime Minister. Because if any disrespect happens, if anything happens above our heads, ultimately we are spoiling the image of India as a whole on the global stage. Okay, where because we right now are starting to secure a seat for in the UN Security Council with the support of our member countries by demanding and asking them by pursuing our agenda on the global stage. But at this point of time, just the Prime Minister creates a power politics for his for personal motive, stating that I came back to my Delhi with my life in the sense. What is it trying to say about India, which is ruling to the globe? This is what is my straight question to the media as well. You people as senior journalists, you should start analyzing. Because see, Prime Minister's security breach is not a concern. Security breach is what we have seen instances in past where Rajiv Gandhi has visited Mahatma Gandhi's memorial trust in 1986 on October 2nd. Okay, and you have heard fire sounds, okay, by the so-called Sikh revolters beside him. You have literally seen the bullets there. But when the media was asking those days, what, sir, what exactly is your position over there? He says, no, everything is normal because he was a statesman. He was thinking of the state as a whole, not of himself. And in the same way, Indira Gandhi in 1967, she was pelted stones at her. But what, did she come and complain that I am being targeted by so-called Janata Dal, which was literally waiting for power and which was really a stall making, which was really an influencer in those days? No, she wanted the India to grow globally because see, when India grows, we grow. Powers are not permanent, but the status of India on the globe is really permanent. This is what I want to sum up rather than reacting in a premature way because any of the Supreme Court has stepped in and it is taking into hand its the inquiry, etc. Let's see what will happen, what comes out at the in the end.
So Krishna, also, but during those times we didn't have that much of social media, or even if we talk about media, only newspapers were printed at that time. But now everything, even a kid of I think or 2 or 3 years of age, they have their own mobile phones, so everything is on social media and everything. So which is why I think such a news is becoming is getting hyped actually. But then the question is, I mean, you actually have reacted in a great way, but also I would like to know that but then where from, if it was said that our prime minister is going from a certain road, then from where those people and those activists came and surrounded him? So that's the bigger question.
See, madam, what I have said right now, I have already reacted to it. Okay. Because the Supreme Court has literally set up an inquiry. Okay. The Supreme Court has stepped in. Let us wait for what has literally transpired over there. Because the Prime Minister program, why the Prime Minister chose to travel 200 kilometers via road is a big question mark, which is not being answered by the Union Home Ministry nor the state government till date. Till now, where I am really being answering to you. So right now, I don't want to comment on it because here the national interest is mattering a lot. If I comment here, as you have said, so social media, even a 3-year kid holds, not the 3-year kid might be in India or might be out of India. Anybody can see what I am saying right now. I don't want to really spoil the atmosphere as a nation as whole because we are all Indians first. Then we belong to different political affiliations, different ideologies. Let's wait for the inquiry to come up. That is a mature answer from my side.
So with this now, I would like to move to my next question, Mr. Krishna. And my next question to you is, now Aam Aadmi Party, which is AAP. So this time AAP is also trying their level bets in different states, against Congress and BJP, Uttarakhand and so many states basically, and also Punjab. So what's your take on that? So will AAP be able to defeat, because, they are saying that we'll give everything free, this free, that free. So people are really looking forward for that, for people, especially Indians, India, that we face a lot of poverty in our country, and someone is giving them something free, obviously they will choose them. So what would you say on that? Do you think AAP has a chance?
Rather than AAP having a chance to form the government, madam, let me first say about the freebies. If really freebies matter a lot, it would be the ruling dispensation anywhere who is going to win the election, because ruling dispensation will always be in a position to announce more freebies than anyone else. But ultimately, the AAP's primary motive right now is for a national party status. Let me be very straight and on to the question. National party, because right now AAP is a regional party. For the AAP to secure a national party status, it requires 6% vote share to 8% vote share in at least 4 states. So AAP right now was initially, it tried to it stepped nearby to the national party status, but it didn't materialize. But right now, its primary objective is to really garner a national party's name, because AAP right now is really a union, centrally administered state. Okay, it's really a union territory, is created state. AAP is not completely functioning under the state. So my straight answer to this question is, the AAP is only functioning under one person, Arvind Kejriwal, who literally don't have the crucial two subjects which any chief minister needs to have. That is law and order in his hands, neither the external negotiations in his hand, because he is Delhi is a union territory created state. So AAP is purely reliant on Arvind Kejriwal, and Arvind Kejriwal, when he is unable to contain the corruption and gratitude of his own state ministers, what is he trying to prove? Because the only presence for AAP is there is Punjab. After that, after Punjab, you're literally seeing a social media hype which is happening, because the freebies, the Goa, you have seen the Goa ministers and Goa AAP leaders criticizing openly that the people are not so openly reliant on freebies. We have to change our narrative. That is the reason recently, because I think you people are from the northern part. The AAP has amended its constitution, making everyone eligible to contest election. The AAP's constitution was not for family members. In a family, only one was allowed to contest an election. Now, before the state elections have come into frame, today the notification has got released. The AAP has amended its preamble, the constitution of its party, a couple of days ago. And moreover, the AAP's victory, as I stated you, I want to sum up by saying you, the AAP's ambition is also not a victory. Victory might be, the AAP's victory is what? Gaining a national party identity. Once it gains a national party identity, definitely it literally, as you said right now, it will put all its efforts on the negotiating table in a democracy, because we as a Congress party welcome every party to be on the national presence. Okay, because we want battle, we want triangular party battle, we want all the parties to come up and fight elections, because democracy is for the people. Okay. Because if parties start coming up, even the opposition will have more strength. We also expect parties to come and fight the elections. So I want to sum up in briefly by saying that, see, the AAP's primary motive, as I said, is the national status one, and it is targeting Punjab is the second one.
So now also, a very hot topic of, the session is going to be about Congress choosing its new president in 2022. So would you say that Congress is now going to choose its new president in year 2022? And also, there's a lot of chorus growing around the name of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So what would you like to say on that?
Madam, my straight reply to this is, see, one thing. Why is Rahul Gandhi asking that I should be only the president of the party? Is Rahul Gandhi saying that I should be the only monarch of the party, or I need the support of the party's members to be the president? No, Rahul Gandhi has never asked anyone that I should be the president of the party. It's the party's cadre who is asking him from the booth level to be the party's president. That you're going to see very shortly in a democratic way, in a democracy. What we are doing is what I want to answer you in a very straightforward way. Right now, we are in a membership drive, madam. Membership drive in the sense from a booth level in the town to a gram panchayat in a village level. Okay. We are literally really garnering all the booth level members' opinion and we are literally creating an election. Okay. Once after the booth level, after the membership drive gets over, we are literally going for organization elections, where the booth member will have a say, the district member will have a say, the district president will have a say, the booth president will have a say. If you are a member of Congress, you will have a say, and ultimately a member majority will be elected. And now arises another question. Do you think apart from Nehru Gandhi, will anyone file nomination? See, everybody are welcome to file nominations. Nobody is literally stopping, and nobody is literally because saying that Congress is a private, because Congress is open to all. This is not one one person created party. This party is open to all.
Yeah.
The seniors are when the so-called media has kept a name to the seniors called G23. We have kept quiet because time is the answer for all the questions of the media and all the questions of the other opposition and the so-called dispensations. See, what we believe straightly is once this membership drive is over, the organization elections come up. Once the organization elections come up, let it be now Rahul Gandhi or somebody else. If Rahul Gandhi is the president, I should have. If Rahul Gandhi becomes the president again, right now you're going to see a different Rahul Gandhi. Why? Because till now Rahul Gandhi was appointed. Why he was appointed? He was targeted again and again, saying that because his mother is there, because he has a legacy, the Congress is purely reliant on the so-called Nehru Gandhi. Right now, if he comes up in a democratic way, nobody is appointing no one. He comes up in a democratic way by winning the organization elections. Now, even the party leaders and the party cadre also will get moralized first. They can't defend themselves when somebody targets. See, we have elected our leader in a democratic way. That these are not hundreds or thousands, there will be lakhs of people electing him. Lakhs of people are electing him. Ultimately, even the people's mood will also reflect on him, stating that he is a really alternative leader, and they will rubbish all claims stating the legacy is really protecting Rahul Gandhi. No, even Sonia Gandhi, for keeping that in her mind, has literally entertained these organization elections, and she wants to see really who can win the elections. There is no pressure on anyone to not contest. There is no pressure on anyone to not sit aside. You can see right now, let it be the seniors or juniors in any district, any state. Did you see at least one person coming and saying that the party is sidetracking us in the membership? The party is sidetracking us in the organization elections? No. Because the thing is, it is completely functioning in a democratic way. And you are seeing, because Narendra Modi also, madam, when he was a Gujarat chief minister, okay, he until unless he was supported by certain section, majority section of the party, he didn't have that sort of national image. Though he was being highlighted by the media, stating that he was a 3-time chief minister. Right now, Rahul Gandhi also, though he has again and again after being appointed, he didn't succeed in the elections. The media started portraying in such a way. Right now, also going to see it slowly once he get elected or once somebody else get elected. If some miracle happens by trespassing Rahul Gandhi, you are going to see, because we want the Congress, the system to function. We don't believe in party images. We want the party system by keeping the so-called statesman's views in our framework, whoever leads the party. Even the Nehru Gandhi family is also openly saying, today we might be there, tomorrow somebody else might be there, but the system should be the same. The Congress should be the same. The contributions of to the Congress party are enormous. The Congress party's contribution to the state are enormous. The same way, the state has also contributed Congress party by giving him power elsewhere. That is the reason I want to sum up even this question very briefly, that let us wait for 1 or 2 months. Let's see the elections, and after the election, let's see the mood of the party workers and the nation as whole.
We'll wait for the right time to come, and also the time will only tell who will be chosen the next president of the Congress party. And with this, would like to move to the last question of today's session, Mr. Krishna. And the last question of today's session is about Goa, actually. So Mr. Chidambaram actually said that only Congress has the capacity to win in Goa this time. So would you say that Congress is going to make its mark in Goa this time?
I want to give a live example to this, madam. Actually, I have a couple of businesses in Goa, and apart from me having business, I have a good rapport with Goans for media, and Goa. I have a lot of circle in Goa. Actually, you can see 20% of the out of the 40 assembly seats. In 20 assembly seats, you have more than 40% of minority population. In the sense, Muslims and Christians. That is point number one. And the point number two, in 14 other constituencies, you have more than 14% of minority population. I'm leaving it to your analysis. As a journalist, you should analyze. I can't say that, see, that there is TMC, there is AAP, the people are with the Congress. If I start saying this without a credible statistical basis, even you will start, this is purely hypothetical, he is literally portraying his party. I want to be on merits, because I'm saying there is BJP, which is facing a lot of anti-incumbency. There is Congress, which already last time it should have taken the power, but due to the late Manoj Parrikar, who was literally has a presence and who literally ruled the state for 27 years, directly or indirectly, has literally taken and managed the opposition parties, and he has gone forward. And right now, the only alternative to the BJP over there is Congress, and the other alternative would have been TMC, that is Trinamool Congress. Let me even speak frankly. But what blunder did Trinamool Congress commit is, under the advice or under the guise of the pseudo advisor called so Prashant Kishore, it has tied up with MGP, the one of the regional outfit over there. What is MGP? MGP literally supported the so-called Santanam, one of the right-wing organization which was involved in Gauri Lankesh's murder. Okay, so the MGP, while with the support of such right-wing organizations, lost its credibility in the minorities. That is why it started with the minority vote share, stating this is the street percent vote percent. And after the TMC openly tying up with MGP, how do you expect all the minorities to go and dump their votes to the so-called TMC? Because right now, even the TMC, after I said you, after the Congress, the TMC, because TMC has its presence over there. Not now. In 2017 also, it had its presence, it had its vote share. But right now, it had committed a self-goal by tying up with the regional outfit, which supports right-wing organizations. So ultimately, the split of the BJP vote bank is being taken up by the Aam Aadmi Party and TMC. How much more split goes on? The minorities are with the Congress Party, as I said you right now. And out of 40 seats, we are giving a very tough fight in 34 seats. Okay. 6 seats are really really the Congress doesn't have that much presence right now. There's a lot of poaching going on in Goa. In 34 seats, very tight. It's almost a Congress. Okay, I can say Mr. Chidambaram also, after taking all his consideration observations, might have committed over there. Let's wait. And I think so today the notification on March 10th, once the results out, then later on we can actually have another debate and we can start analyzing if the Congress wins. I can say why Congress has won. The Congress loses, I will start to retrospect why the Congress is losing, where the Congress improve, again improve it. That's it, madam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Krishna. All right. So now, like you said, time will only tell, and we can wait for the right time as to know what is going to happen in the future. So now, again, I would like to thank you for coming to the channel and doing the show with us, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and sharing your views on our questions. And once again, we'd like to thank you for doing the show and taking out time and coming to the channel. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it from iSCUBE TV Global. Keep on watching and do subscribe to the channel.